5 physical signs of past trauma that you really should know about. So let's talk about trauma first. What is trauma? Trauma is not the event that happened to you, like the divorce or the death or of a loved one, or lost job. That's not the trauma. The trauma is how you felt about the event. And trauma comes in all kinds of different forms, and it could be some abuse, physical abuse, rape, abandonment. It could be just having to do with your work or relationships or any of that stuff. So trauma is different to different people, and it's not the event, it's the feeling, it's the emotions, it's your nervous system takes over, it's all of that. That's the trauma. And that's what stays with you as you move along into adulthood. So we're going to talk about 5 signs. If you're wondering if you've had past trauma and it's starting to manifest in your physical body, we're going to talk about 5 signs that you have some past trauma that might need to be healed. So the first one is fight or flight. So if you're always constantly feeling like you are in fight or flight mode, then you may have some past trauma that needs to be healed. I'll give you a really good example. A client of mine lived with an alcoholic mother. It was a rough existence as a child, always walking on eggshells, never knowing what she's going to do. And she used to haul him into her work at a restaurant very often as well. And he hated it. It was traumatizing to him. So as an adult, whenever he sees that restaurant, will not go in that particular restaurant because of that. So he's in fight or flight mode. If you're doing that on a regular basis, if you're in fight or flight mode all the time, then it's attached to a trauma that needs to be looked at, that needs to be healed. The second thing is chronic fatigue. A lot of times when we're in fight or flight mode, it's tiring. It's using up a lot of energy that we have to be in fight or flight mode, where our brains are always thinking, our bodies are ready to fight or run, and so it's tiring. So if you're experiencing chronic fatigue and you have been and had it checked out and there's no explanation for it, it could be that you're carrying some unhealed trauma. And you may be in fight or flight mode, and your body and your brain is just working so heavily, thinking and ruminating about things that are in your subconscious or in your conscious about that trauma. Then it's unhealed trauma that needs to be taken care of. The third thing is chronic pain. So if you have bodily chronic pain, if you're feeling pain all of the time and there's no explanation for it, it could be the fact that you have unhealed trauma. A lot of times when we've experienced trauma in our lives, we have a sense of unworthiness. We have a sense of unlovingness toward ourselves, and we sit like this, or we want to hide, or we're a lot of people that have been in chronic PTSD sit like this, or have posture that isn't correct, and this over time will affect your entire body. Your body is not aligned at that point, and that in time causes chronic pain. So if you have physical body pain, a lot of times it's because you have some unhealed trauma, and your posture isn't good, and you're trying to hide things, or you're feeling bad. A lot of times with grief is the same way. You feel like this, you just want to go inward, and so your posture suffers, and then in turn it literally will misalign your entire body and cause pain in your body. The next one is GI distress, tummy distress. So if you have a lot of GI problems, the trauma manifests in your gut. So our gut holds a lot of our emotions, and particularly trauma emotions. In our intestines, we hide things in there. We store things in our abdominals. And so if you're experiencing GI distress, stomach ailments on a regular basis, it could be that you have some trauma that is stuck in there, that you've hidden in there, that you've tucked it away, trying to get rid of it, and it goes right in here. And maybe you're feeling anxiety or anxious So those are some things to take a look at. And a lot of people don't think about these things that I'm mentioning, particularly stomach issues. But if you're, think about it, if you're always anxious and on fight or flight mode, or experiencing a lot of anxiety because of your trauma, it's going to affect your digestion. It's going to affect your GI tract, the whole thing. So that's another sign that you may have some trauma that is unhealed. Chronic headaches. This is another really big one. So if you're experiencing migraines a lot, chronic headaches, trauma manifests a lot of times in the body and in the head in particular. It really does affect your brain in a lot of negative ways. It holds on to the picture, the feeling, and communicates to the rest of your body what it wants your body to do when you're feeling the triggers from the trauma. So if you're experiencing migraines and headaches and there's no apparent reason, you've gone to get it checked out and they're like, we don't know what it is, it could be that you have some unresolved trauma that needs to take care of. So after a little bit of research, we have found that working with a body connection really helps remove some of the physical ailments that we feel in trauma, that we get from being in trauma for long periods of time. So what I mean by this is a lot of healing trauma doesn't even necessarily mean that you have to go and talk about it. You could do trauma-based yoga. We have a trauma-based yoga program here at GILD Coaching. It's a 16-week program, and it literally takes you through your entire body and helps you get rid of those emotions and those feelings that you have stuck deep inside of your intestines and your neck and shoulders, deep inside your neck and shoulders, and literally helps you deep inside your neck and shoulders, and literally helps you get to know your body, get to reconnect with your body, with breath work, with physical movement, with being able to get all of those negative emotions, those negative feelings that we have tucked inside of our intestines, in our hips, neck and shoulders. I just mentioned that. And it's a great way to reconnect with your body and get rid of some of the trauma that we hold in our physical bodies. We actually hold the trauma in our physical body. So it's not just about talking to a coach. You can do that as well. In fact, if you do both of those, we have a trauma-based recovery-focused reset program. It's a 16-week program for trauma healing and addiction healing. And if you do that along with the yoga, it's a great release of working through the trauma that you may have experienced in your life. So if this video has been if you've liked this video, hit the like button. If you've liked this video, hit the like button, please. And don't forget to subscribe. You're not going to want to miss the rest of our videos. And we have so much great information. And if you know of somebody that could use this information, please send it along to your friends and family. They'll be so happy that you did. And we'll see you on the next video.